If 3 months ago's case with the mummy has taught me anything, is that always expect the unexpected, and always expect things will get strange from here on out. 2 days back, I got approached by a client who seems to be having trouble with an anthropomorphic dog and an insane white rabbit. To say the least, my day had only just started and it's only going to get stranger from here. But I am now pondered with a different question. A question that needs to be asked by anyone. Where the hell are my trousers?
That's why it's cold.
So, you're telling me that about 2 days back you were approached by these gentlemen, and they asked you a lot of pointless questions?
Indeed. At first I thought they were lost as I live pretty far. But after a rather long-winded chat, I began to notice they weren't here to ask for directions.
Oh?
Yes. You see, they weren't lost at all. It turns out they were searching for something.
Searching? But for what?
Well, after that strange rabbit thing ate my food, I asked them what they were searching for. And that dog thing said they were searching for some games.
A game, you say? Interesting. Anything else?
Not really. I mean, apart from the mess they made, that's about it. It's strange. Usually I'm the one convolutedly looking for video games.
Very well. You've been a big help in the case, Miss Dove. Now I'm afraid
Wait. That's it?
What is it?
That's my appearance? Just a simple cameo to answer your pointless questions? That's really it! Seriously, Whalley, you could've... You know what? Forget this! I've got better things to do with my time. You know, to get back at you, I'm gonna do my own noir bit. Well, actually, I already have, cause, you know, the Black Sad video, you edited that. There's probably a link for it somewhere up here at this point, but that's besides the point!
Nice fourth wall break in there.
Shut up! Hey, Emily! I've got a job for you!
Ugh. I'm gonna regret that, aren't I? Moving on from that awkward situation, let's get right into the video and talk about Sam & Max, created by Steve Buttrell as a comic book series. Now, I would probably say something smart here to describe these lovable goofballs, but I think this clip kind of sums them up best.
To safeguard American businesses, Max. That's why the heck we're doing this.
And because we get to wave these around!
No, that goes without saying.
Here's a place you never see on the tour.
The prison showers. Gee, if these walls could talk.
I think it's best if they keep their mouths shut.
Yeah, that's right. I watched the show too, and it was just as unhinged and chaotically funny as ever. Now, today we ain't here to talk about the TV series or the comics, but we are actually going to be talking about the video games. Well, only the games I've played, as I haven't got a VR set and haven't been able to play the new one. Yet. So we'll be taking a look at the original Hit the Road game and the Telltale games. So with that out of the way, let's get right into it. Once more, like the last few videos, I'm only going to go into some detail on the games, so that way you can play them and experience the full madness yourselves. First up is the original classic released in 1993, and by God, what a wild ride this game gives you. You get a really good idea of what these characters are like from the opening cutscene alone.
Sick 'em up, little buddy. Ooh! Ow! Hey, nice one.
Yikes!
Huh?
He's not a real guy, Sam. Can I keep his head for a souvenir? Why do you suppose it's ticking?
And when they arrive back at their office, you begin to realize what sort of game you'll be playing with these two.
Max, where should I put this so it doesn't hurt anyone we know or care about?
Out the window, Sam. There's nothing but strangers out there.
I hope there was nobody on that bus.
Nobody we know, at least.
God, I love this game. The main story starts with the commissioner informing the duo that a Bigfoot has gone missing from his home, which turns out to be a block of ice at a carnival. Now, before anyone asks, yes, that is the plot of the game, and yes, it gets weirder from here. So it's your job as the talking dog and the crazy bunny to bring Bruno the Bigfoot, and yes, that is his name, and probably bring him home, maybe? Who knows? I've got to be honest, while the graphics haven't aged that well, they still convey the characters, backgrounds, and everything else very well, and you know there was a lot of care put into this. You can see every detail of the shameless violence, animal cruelty, and the dark, dry humour the game produces. Gameplay is pretty simple as a stereotypical point-and-click adventure game. You go around different locations finding clues and items to use on different things, and etc, etc. Now, while gameplay for this type of genre has changed over the years thanks to companies like Telltale and Pendulum Studios, but it was kind of refreshing just to kick back and relax with this game's classic gameplay experience. Now, gameplay isn't just the only thing you'll be liking in this classic game, as while the story is pretty basic, the characters you encounter are just memorable and brilliantly casted. Oh, that reminds me, the voice of Sam is Bill Farmer, and I'll be honest, I think when Sam and Max returns for more point-and-click adventure games, if that ever happens, Bill needs to come back. Now, I will say that because of the game's story, characters, and humour, it does make newcomers who don't know the series very well very alienated. But then again, that is the whole point of the game, which is being true to the style of the comics as well. I mean, this image alone sums it up pretty well. These guys are literally the definition of pointing and laughing at stuff. I fucking love them. Look, Max, we're in the Philippines. Now, I'm just going to derail this review for just a few seconds because I just want to share with you a little something. I had an original physical copy of the video game when I was younger. Unfortunately, I did lose it when I started middle school. So when I announced the video that I was going to do this review, I brought a physical copy of the said game as well as buying it on Steam for easier access. Only to suddenly get a phone call from my dad and saying that he found the original game copy of this game. So, here it is in all its massive box glory. The one that I lost, or thought to have lost, has been in the loft of my old family home all this time. I mean, look at this. Such a massive box for one disc and a manual / colouring book. Oh god. The details are all here too on how to play the game and also a small hint on a particular mission too. These things were the best, and it saddens me that nobody does this anymore, what with physical copies becoming redundant as time goes on, and don't get me started on modern day console copies because they are depressing! I probably derailed this review for long enough because I'm starting to rant about modern day releases on video games and their console releases and how they absolutely depress me with absolutely nothing in it, and how can I even go on when these look better than the modern day consoles? I mean, Jesus Christ! Let's wrap things up and move along with the video, shall we? To finish things up about this classic game, I honestly had a blast replaying this, and I might even replay it again soon, maybe even stream it one day. Now, I will repeat myself a bit here by saying that the reason I'm not going to talk about this game any more than I have is because I think you guys need to experience it yourself in order to appreciate it. With the success of this game, the development team were way ahead on creating a sequel and got very far into production, until LucasArts stopped making games and closed the production down. Which is a shame because they had a trailer out, and looking at the stilled images of the said trailer, it just saddens me. But thankfully, some of the development team actually went away and created Telltale Games. You might have heard of them. And they created some of the best Sam & Max games out there, from Sam & Max Save the World, Season 2, and The Devil's Playhouse. This game series was such a blast when it first released, and it was clear that the team behind it put a lot of care and time into these games. The first set, Save the World, was pretty much the pilot of what was to come, and the dynamic between Sam and Max was altered slightly too. Instead of two crazy individuals going around and causing madness, you've got two individuals with different points of view going around causing madness. Wait, is that right? But they do keep them true to the source material and gives us a more, I'd like to say, down-to-earth Sam and Max, maybe? Oh, who knows. Seemingly making them more investable and sympathetic, but don't get me wrong, guys, these people are still horrible monsters.
I will feast on your entrails and devour your soul.
You know, Max, sneaking the bug into that exorcism was an uncharacteristic stroke of genius.
Demonic possession is the gift that keeps on giving.
The homing beacon to the Kremlin doesn't seem to be working. It was probably turned off in the spirit of Glasnost.
More likely those lazy commie bastards forgot to change the batteries.
Lazy former commie bastards, Max.
Christ. By the way, whose idea was it to make Max president? Because I just see nothing but fire everywhere. Oh god, the humanity! But I digress though. Also, putting them into episodic format was another great idea. Having the players take them on different assignments really gave the audience a good image on how they dealt with the weird and wonderful and how they destroyed them. After the success of the first season, season 2 was pretty much the same as the first. Not a whole lot to say about it, sadly. And one thing that the first 2 seasons had was at some point you kind of got a bit done with it. While it was an improvement over the first season with better gameplay and funnier jokes, but I felt that this season was less satisfying to play. Also, these guys outstayed their welcome quite a bit and I was glad it ended. But when season 3 hit, oh boy.
Over the next 5 chapters, you will witness things that baffle you, horrify you, even disgust you. But you must not look away. Pay close attention to everything that you see and hear. Because when our story reaches its bowel-tingling climax, only you, my friends, will possess the ability to save the entire universe.
The Devil's Playhouse is probably the best and well-remembered out of the 3 games. Unlike the first 2 seasons, this episodic adventure was well-constructed, well-developed story, and in my opinion, the best send-off for Sam and Max's time at Telltale. Now that I think about it, this story pretty much paved the way to how Telltale went on to develop their future games. For better or worse. When you think about it more, this was pretty much out of the character's comfort zone and facing their greatest fear. Reality.
Enjoying the ride, Sam?
What do I mean by that? Well, let's be honest, Sam and Max aren't meant to be taken seriously. At all. They're just people going around and making gags. Thankfully, the developers at Telltale knew they shouldn't step over that line and kept them pretty much the same. Jesus Christ, I had a lot more to say about this game series than I thought, and I've been stuck in this office since August of my last video, and I haven't been outside in months. Jesus Christ, how much have I missed? I need the outside light! Now, as I've mentioned before, the gameplay is pretty much the same throughout the series, while they also add a few little mini-games and other things to keep you from getting bored. I've got to say, replaying these games gave me so much nostalgia, and I found myself finding jokes I completely missed during my original playthroughs, and still finding more. I would even go far as to say that these games still hold up very well today, and can be pretty fun, engaging, and downright awesome to play. The graphics and backgrounds throughout all 3 are pretty much very pleasing to look at, and fit the world that our heroes live in. And I think that's about it to talk about, because, once more, I don't want to reveal too much for you guys. Now, with how popular the games were, you'd think there'll be something for them right around the corner, but sadly no, as we wouldn't see another Sam and Max game for at least 11 years, until in September of this year a VR title dropped and... it's going to be a while before another one comes out, isn't it? But fear not, the Telltale games were still quite successful. Hell, they were even so good a small group of conveniently called Skunkarpe Games, pretty much naming themselves after a very awesome villain of Series 3, General Skunkarpe, who you may recognize the voice actor for playing another popular monkey character.
Today is the day I have been planning for days and days of having as a day to have. The day I insert my virus into this ridiculous site and control all who are foolish enough to face me.
Does the General want a banana?
I see. Because I resemble your Earth gorillas, you assume I want a banana. I'm glad to see that Earthlings are still so charmingly racist.
Relax, buddy. We're just making sure you're getting enough potassium.
These guys got together to remaster the first series and remind a lot of people why these set of games was so good. So hopefully the future of Sam and Max games ain't looking too bleak, and there'll be more remasters or new games to come out soon. Hi guys, Future Whalley here. I'm going to make this very quick because I don't normally do this, but as of the making of this video, Skit Games actually announced the release of the Remastered Edition Season 2 of Sam & Max to Beyond Time and Space. So yeah, it looks like they'll be going full swing and hopefully Season 3 will be mastered as well, so let's look out for it. Okay, back to the video, I'm sorry. It did change a little bit in this season, but in truth it wasn't all that much or dramatic. If you're interested in playing these wonderful games, Steam is your best friend here, and Hit the Road is pretty much under £5 all the time. So it's pretty much a steal for this classic. While the Telltale versions are also at a pretty good price as well. Heck, the remaster first season alone nearly cost £16. Still a little high, but compared to the other big games out there, I think this is a pretty good deal. Ooh. Well, that was an interesting video, wasn't it? I had a lot more to say about this series than I ever thought I would, but hey ho, you learn something new about yourself every day. Okay, I don't know about you guys, but I'm actually going to head out. What? But I thought... Well then. Along, see?